greatest fear is the crawl space of my house. It's dark and really scary. And if you ever want to terrify me, you basically force me to go into there and do some chore. I'm almost sure there is a dead skunk or a dead raccoon in there. And I want anything, I'll do anything I can just to stay out of the crawl space. Anyway, moving on. This is how I would spend hours and hours of my childhood on the computer, playing video games, chatting online with friends on the internet, surfing the web. Eventually I'd get to this point and I'd be lying back on my chair, supporting myself with my head, sometimes with my legs up on the table, and my mom would tell me that I need to sit up straight or someday it's going to come back and bite me. And I wouldn't really pay any attention to her and I'd just keep on doing it my way. And little did I know what I had in store for me. This is how I would swim. Ever since I was a kid, as a guppy in the YMCA swimming class, all the way up until junior varsity swimming team in San Marino High School. I swam freestyle, stroke, breathe, stroke, breathe, stroke, breathe, always breathing out in the left direction. And it was not until just a couple of years ago, I still don't even know if this is true, but I was told that apparently you're not supposed to just breathe out in one direction, you're supposed to switch it up and breathe out the other side sometimes. I'm still not sure if that's true, but I know now that there's been some serious imbalance that I've been getting from all this incorrect stroke from freestyle. Lastly, I've played cello ever since I was 10, and this is how it would be. Eventually like this. I'd be slouching inevitably, but my right arm would always be uplifted, holding the bow in order to play the cello. All of these things have contributed into what's become a chronic neck pain and soreness. Its onset was the summer of 2010, and just in the past 3 years alone, I spent over $2,000 personally out of pocket just in healthcare expenses, x-rays, an MRI, and seeing all sorts of different therapists. And I picked up a few things along the way. The onset was kind of gradual at first. It was just a kind of a need to crack my neck, maybe once or twice a month, up until once or twice a week, then every day, every hour, then every minute. And now I feel the constant need to crack my neck every second of my life. And the only way that I get and the only thing that tempers that and gives me a little bit of relief are some of these things that I picked up along the way from the therapists. The first thing that I remembered came from the physical therapist whom I saw, and she taught me what I call the neck up. And this is not really the official name for it, it's just what I call it. In order to do the neck up, you have to lie down flat, kind of like you're going to do a sit-up, but instead of engaging your abdominal muscles to lift your body, you just engage your neck muscles to lift your head only. And the benefit of this is basically rooted in the idea that somehow the neck and shoulder muscles have been strained from overuse, from holding your head. And so why is that a problem in the first place? Which brings us to my second and third takeaways, my terrible posture, which has been commented on by every single one of the therapists whom I've seen. The second takeaway has to do with my head. It's constantly stooped forward, kind of, and my shoulders are concave, kind of like a C instead of straight, like this. And so my chiropractor, one of the chiropractors I've seen, told me to make sure to put my head back, to have it steady and sitting on my neck, not pulling forward and stretching my muscles forward. And also my shoulders, instead of being faced forward like this, I gotta pull them back like this and sit like this, so that it's more like a straight line from shoulder to shoulder rather than like a C. The fourth takeaway that I've had came from what's called a Rolfing specialist. Rolfing is kind of like a fringe form of physical therapy, I would say. And she taught me what I call sitting on my butt bone. And the butt bone is basically the bottom end of your hip bone. And when you're sitting, you want to make sure that it feels engaged. The butt bone should feel the chair. It should be in contact with it. And you don't want to lie back. You don't want to sit on the cushion of your butt, because then that ends up causing you to slouch eventually and encouraging that. So when you sit on the butt bone correctly, it almost kind of forces you to sit up straight. And when I did that, it was really helpful, but eventually I started noticing my back gets tired really quickly. But that was actually normal, and if you find that, you feel that yourself, it's because your back is not used to sitting up straight and correctly in good posture. And so it's just a sign that your back needs to be worked out, and it needs to become used to it. The muscle needs to become stronger. The fifth takeaway and final one that I'm going to share with you has to do, it's not a quick fix or exercise, but it was also taught to me by the role-playing therapist. It's a change in mentality. She taught me that I need to become comfortable and not embarrassed with movement and variation. I work in a desk job in a cubicle in front of a computer, and I'm sitting in front of there